This is Chapter 6 of Gilgamesh, The Return. Gilgamesh has just listened to Utnapishtim recount his survival of the flood. Remember, Utnapishtim's flood resembles that of Noah in the Bible. So we're going to resume with Utnapishtim talking to Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim said, "As for you, Gilgamesh, who will assemble the gods for your sake, so that you may find that life for which you are searching? But if you wish, come and put it to the test. Only prevail against sleep for 6 days and 7 nights. Archetype alert! This is a test. It is part of the hero's cyclical journey. So this first one, Gilgamesh is supposed to stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights. But while Gilgamesh sat there resting on his haunches, a mist of sleep, like soft wool, teased from the fleece, drifted over him, and Utnapishtim said to his wife, "Look at him now, the strong man who would have everlasting life. Even now the mists of sleep are drifting over him." He didn't last long. His wife replied, "Touch the man to wake him, so that he may return to his own land in peace, going back through the gate by which he came." So that gate, that is our threshold that the hero crosses when he's going on his cyclical journey. Utnapishtim said to his wife, "All men are deceivers, even you he will attempt to deceive. Therefore bake loaves of bread, each day 1 loaf, and put it beside his head, and make a mark on the wall to number the days he has slept." So she baked loaves of bread, each day 1 loaf, and put it beside his head. And she marked on the wall the days that he slept. And there came a day when the first loaf was hard, the second loaf was like leather, the third was soggy, the crust of the fourth had molded, the fifth was mildewed, the sixth was fresh, and the seventh was still on the embers, so still cooking on the fire. Then Utnapishtim touched him, and he woke. Gilgamesh said to Utnapishtim the far away, "I hardly slept when you touched and roused me." But Utnapishtim said, "Count these loaves, and learn how many days you slept. For first is hard, your second like leather, your third is soggy, the crust of the fourth has mold, your fifth is mildewed, your sixth is fresh, and your seventh was still over the glowing embers when I touched and woke you." Gilgamesh said, "What shall I do? O Utnapishtim, where shall I go? Already the thief in the night has hold of my limbs, death inhabits my room. Wherever my foot rests, there I find death." Then Utnapishtim spoke to Urshanabi the ferryman. "Woe to you, Urshanabi, now and forevermore. You have become hateful to this harborage. It is not for you, nor for you are the crossings of this sea. Go now, banished from the shore. But this man before you, whom you walked, bringing him here, whose body is covered with the foulness and grace, of whose limbs has been spoiled by wild skins, take him to the washing place. There he shall wash his long hair clean as snow in the water." Archetype alert! "He shall throw off his skins, and let the sea carry them away, and the beauty of his body shall be shown. The fillet on his forehead shall be renewed, and he shall be given clothes to cover his nakedness, till he reaches his own city, and his journey, archetype." So even the characters within the story know that this is a journey. "These clothes will show no sign of age. They will wear like a new garment." So Urshanabi took Gilgamesh and led him to the washing place. He washed his long hair as clean as snow in the water. He threw off his skins, which the sea carried away, and showed the beauty of his body. He renewed the fillet on his forehead, and to cover his nakedness gave him clothes, which would show no sign of age, but would wear like a new garment till he reached his own city, and his journey was accomplished. Then Gilgamesh and Urshanabi launched the boat onto the water and boarded it, and they made ready to sail away. But the wife of Utnapishtim the far away said to him, "Gilgamesh came here wearied out. He is worn out. What will you give to him to carry him back to his own country?" So Utnapishtim spoke, and Gilgamesh took out a pole and brought in the boat into the bank. "Gilgamesh, You came here a man wearied out, you have worn yourself out. What shall I give you to carry back to your own country? Gilgamesh, I shall reveal a secret thing. It is a mystery of the gods that I am telling you. Test number 2. There is a plant that grows under the water. It has a prickle like a thorn, like a rose. It will wound your hands, but if you succeed in taking it, then your hands will hold that which restores his lost youth to a man. In other words, immortality. When Gilgamesh heard this, he opened the sluices so that a sweet water current might carry him out to the deepest channel. He tied heavy stones to his feet, and they dragged him down to the waterbed. There he saw the plant growing. Although it pricked him, he took it in his hands. Then he cut the heavy stones from his feet, and the sea carried him and threw him onto the shore. Gilgamesh said to Urshanabi the ferryman, "Come here and see this marvelous plant. By its virtue a man may win back all his former strength. I will take it to Uruk of the strong walls. There I will give it to the old men to eat. Its name shall be, The Old Men Are Young Again, and at last I shall eat it myself and have back all my lost youth." So Gilgamesh returned by the gate through which he had come. Gilgamesh and Urshanabi went together. They traveled their 20 leagues, and then they broke their fast. After 30 leagues, they stopped for the night. So keep in mind that Urshanabi is helping Gilgamesh, so that makes him somewhat of an ally. And then also think, what archetype does Utnapishtim fit? Gilgamesh saw a well of cool water, and he went down and bathed. But deep in the pool there was lying a serpent, and the serpent sensed the sweetness of the flower. It rose out of the water and snatched it away, and immediately it sloughed its skin and returned to the well. Then Gilgamesh sat down and wept. His tears ran down his face, and he took the hand of Urshanabi. "Oh, Urshanabi, was it for this that I toiled with my hands? Is it for this that I have wrung out my heart's blood? For myself I have gained nothing. Not I, but the beast of the earth has joy of it now. Already the stream has carried it 20 leagues back to the channels where I found it. I found a sign, and now I have lost it. Let us leave the boat on the bank and let it go." After 20 leagues they broke their fast. After 30 leagues they stopped for the night. In 3 days they had walked as much as a journey of a month and 15 days. When the journey was accomplished they arrived at Uruk, the strong-walled city. Gilgamesh spoke to him, to Urshanabi the ferryman. "Urshanabi, climb up to the wall of Uruk, inspect its foundation terrace, and examine well the brickwork. See if it is not of burnt bricks, and did not the 7 wise men lay these foundations? 1/3 of the whole is city, 1/3 is garden, and 1/3 is field, with the precinct of the goddess Ishtar. These parts and the precinct are all Uruk." So this is the return. That's the archetype. Part of the cyclical hero's journey is the return home back to the ordinary world. This, too, was the work of Gilgamesh, the king, who knew the countries of the world. He was wise. He saw mysteries and knew secret things. He brought us a tale of the days before the flood. He went on a long journey, was weary, worn out with labor, and returning, engraved on a stone the whole story. Well, what is the purpose of the engraving? And this actually draws a parallel between the text of Gilgamesh and the story of Gilgamesh. So in the story, Gilgamesh goes on this journey, and then he comes back and he writes a story on the stone tablets. Well, the record, the historical record of Gilgamesh, is that it was written on stone tablets, and it was actually destroyed, and then it was found again and translated. So sort of like when we're reading the story, we are rediscovering what Gilgamesh engraved long ago.